YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Christmas wish list inspired for equestrians. I haven't seen many people do this, so I thought this year I would. So the first thing on the list is something that I have requested. This is like literally half my Christmas list. It's saddle pads, specifically from the brand Equestrian Stockholm. They're my absolute favorite. I use them for jumping, dressage. I have show pads from them, and you will see almost everything on this list is Equestrian Stockholm. Whether most of their stuff I have used and some stuff I want to try, but it's very rare that I want to try their stuff because I absolutely love them. Another brand that I like is Lemieux, and I know that is also a popular brand that a lot of people use. Definitely pretty, and I like their colors. Another brand that I've heard a lot of people use, I think I've used them before, I just don't use them often, they're not my favorite, is PS of Sweden. But there are probably the top 3 saddle pad brands that I would use, and then you can obviously get some cheaper ones at like Dover. Next is breeches. There's a couple brands that I recommend, and that would be Equestrian Stockholm, Free Ride, and Halter Ego. And then for Free Ride Equestrian, I have a code that you can use for 10% off. I'll put it on the screen. And then some brands that I have recently found out about or like bumped into that I have on my Christmas list for this year is Sync Equestrian, Cairo Riding Gear, and then Pacur, which I recently got a couple of breeches from them and I do like them, so I would check them out. They are a German brand though. The next product going a little out of list is Pivo Equestrian. They have almost like a camera device, but it's something that you put your phone on and then it videos you and tracks you while you ride. You can also do live like training lessons with your trainer from like almost across the world. So my trainer uses it and then I use it. Next thing is shirts, because we all need some good riding shirts. I really enjoy the Lululemon Swiftly Tex. You can find like some dupes on Amazon if you're looking for a cheaper option. I do like Equestrian Stockholms, and then I also can match it to my saddle pad so I get the exact match. And then Lemieux as well. I have one shirt from Lemieux, but I would recommend getting them to match your saddle pad. And then I also really enjoy the Castell shirts, and that I've been seeing a lot about, and I just recently purchased a shirt from them, is Novella. They've definitely been like making an appearance on my feed. And then lastly is Halter Ego. They have some cute shirts that I'm interested in. And then next is kind of like the jackets category. I really like the Lululemon Define jackets for riding in the winter because you got a layer, especially up in Pennsylvania, that I've learned this past year. Equestrian Stockholm has good winter jackets. I haven't tried them out, but I've heard really good things about them. Mew has good ones. I have a couple from theirs. I love them. Area, I recently just got one. It wasn't like the coziest jacket, but I like to layer over another jacket or a lighter like sweater or something. And then Oak Equestrian, the Ladies Icon Winter Parka specifically, I have that as my winter jacket, and it has done great because it's kind of like big, so I can wear it under like my big hoodies like this, and it definitely keeps me warm when it's like 20 degrees. Now there's a little cold because it's always going to be cold, but that has definitely helped. And then I've heard a lot of good things about the thermal heated vest and jacket. My trainer and almost everybody at the barn in Pennsylvania has one. Since I'm not like as, I guess, familiar with the cold, I haven't gotten one, but if I'm going to be spending more time in Pennsylvania, I'm definitely going to get one. Next are pillow wraps. For pillow wraps, I don't use them often just because it's easier to use brushing boots and they can sometimes overheat your horse's legs, but for pillow wraps, I recommend Equestrian Stockholm and Lemieux. Those are the brands that I use, but honestly, any brand is fine. There's not that I have seen there's such a big difference between them. It's just I like a certain brand that I use. So, and then next is bell boots. For bell boots, I use Equestrian Stockholm. I'm not gonna say mainly, but I use them a lot because I get them to match my saddle pad that I have. And then I also have them in white for like the shows. And then I also like to use Lemieux. I have a pair of those that I've used like on cross country and stuff, just like to protect my pony's feet. Though the Lemieux ones do run small. Also like a Rama, those are what I use for Vinny's turnout bell boots, and I'm gonna say they've held up pretty well, but I honestly don't think Vinny really does anything regarding that. The Kyra riding gear, like I talked about, I've recently come upon them because they are like sparkly. So if you want some sparkly bell boots, check out Kyra riding gear. Next up is brushing boots. I enjoy the Lemieux for kind of just like jumping. And then Equestrian Stockholm I use a lot, whether they have the open front boots and then the brushing boots, as well as a Rama. I've used those for like on my ponies I've used them for jumping. And then also I think you have the dressage sport boots. And then there's Airstride, which I recently came upon them. I'm interested in getting them. They have really looked into like trying to make your horse's legs the coolest they can be, so you can still use them like in the summer and in Florida. As well, Kyra riding gear, like I said, they have sparkly brushing boots. I'll put a photo of them because they're kind of pretty. Next up is ear bonnets. I use Equestrian Stockholm and then Lemieux. There was one recently I just came upon this brand. It's called Equears, I think. Yeah, Equears, and they have some really pretty ear bonnets. And one ear bonnet that I want for Christmas is their DIY kit. So it comes with like all that you need, and then I guess instructions, and basically you make your horse's ear bonnet, which I thought that was really cool. So that's just something to try out, and I think it was like $40-50. So it's not like cheap, but it was like a good price compared to what you'll find for some of the other earbuds. Show shirts, and what you will see is my list is kind of primarily towards the dressage rider. I do have some jumping stuff as I do some jumping whenever I am able to. For show shirts, I really enjoy the Equestrian Stockholm show shirts. I don't think that they're like too heavy, so they're great for whenever it's really hot. And then I really like the ones that have like the lace. They're really pretty, and I use them for literally every show, and I just ordered another one. Another Lemieux, I don't have the show shirts, but that has been on my list for a little while now. So they have some pretty shirts as well. Next up is belts, because if you like belts, then you gotta find some pretty belts. Probably one of my favorite belts is from Equestrian Stockholm. They have like a leather belt, and then there's I guess like gems in it, which are really pretty, and I use them. They have them in multiple colors, so that I have a couple of those on my list as well. Also, there is Heads Up Apparel. I have one belt from those, but they're more of like the elastic belt, and you can customize them to be how you want. Color, the type of belt buckle you want, and I guess the color of the belt buckle is like gold, silver, all that. It's really cool, so I like. Next up with gloves. I know not everybody uses gloves, but for most shows you have to have gloves. Recently I came upon Equeline gloves, and they had a really nice like summer mesh gloves. Like the whole back of the hand was basically just like mesh, so super breathable. I haven't tried Equestrian Stockholm gloves, but they have some of like the matching ones, so that's on my list this year, as well as I think it's Raquel gloves. I don't know exactly how to say it, so don't attack me for that. But I use those those are my show gloves. I have heard that they like wear down easily, and they are kind of pricey, but I have heard of a new brand recently. I think it's called Kunkel gloves maybe, but apparently it was created by somebody who they didn't really like the Rokel gloves, and so they created a brand to be more durable, and it appears to be like cost is a little better. And to say like who uses them, Ben Ebeling, who just won the US Open for dressage, he uses that brand of gloves. Next is stall guards. Some horses respect the stall guards, some don't. Brands, but one that I've looked into recently is Deco Pony. So you can customize like how you want it. My friend, I think, actually got one from here, and she likes it, and they're super easy to clean as well. Next up are show coats. Yet again, Equestrian Stockholm is my favorite brand of show coats. Really the only brand that I use, but I'm a little mad about this, but the type of show coat that I like from them, because it has a little bling, it's nice, I love the fabric on them, they don't have it in my size, and they said they're not planning on restocking it. So I'm like desperately on the hunt for it. But I also have heard great things about the Lemieux Fair Play, and then put down Florida. I'm gonna go do like a try-on haul for show coats just to see if I can find another one. I've also heard good things about Sam Shield show coats. I was looking at a Sam Shield for a shag belly, which I'll hopefully be needing as I'll be competing in FEIG. So next up are blankets and coolers. I recently got the Back on Track sheet, and my trainer has a Back on Track cooler that she lets me borrow. They are like great quality, and I really enjoyed it. It didn't overheat my horse in the trailer when I had it on him, and it did pretty well for him, I think. It did pretty well for him. Next is Lemieux. I've heard good things about them. I haven't tried them yet, but the brands that I use for his like turnout blankets, I use Rambo and then Mio. I use Mio for the sheet and then Rambo for his medium blanket with a neck cover. And then also, Equestrian Stockholm has like a cooler or blanket. I've heard good things about those. That is on my list. Next is stock ties. So yet again on the dressage list, I really only use Equestrian Stockholm, but there are definitely some great brands out there. Equestrian Stockholm to match my show coat. And next is halters. I've heard great things about, I think it's Lemieux Equestrian or Lemieux Equestrian. It's not Lemieux, but I do have Lemieux on the list for halters. I have a couple people that I know that use them and like them. I specifically like Equestrian Stockholm. I have their leather one with some bling on the noseband as my show halter, and then I use their fuzzy one that they have for Vinny when he's in the trailer. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see photos of him in that very often, and it is on my videos. I know not everybody is into tall socks, but I am somebody who is into tall socks. I find that they work well for me. I want to try Equestrian Stockholm's tall socks to match what I'm wearing, and then also Lemieux. But the brand that I recently started using is Back on Track and Tread Step. And then the brands that I usually use are Equine Couture, and then this is brow bands and bridles. So for brow bands, I really enjoy the Bridalberry ones because they're Velcro and you can exchange them out very easily. And then next for bridles, I personally use a Bridalberry bridle, and Halter Ego has some special bridles, so if you like some funky stuff, Halter Ego has that. I think they might do custom ones. And then PIERSONFOX has some, though I've heard that they don't stand up very well. They're the Shakamo. I've heard a lot of good things, and I have people who use them, and I ride a lot of horses that have their bridles. Also, I think it's Lemuria Equestrian. Like I said before, they also have some really pretty brow bands. Next is like grooming and grooming bags. I currently have a Lemieux grooming bag and almost all Lemieux grooming brushes, but I do want to get a Hairy Pony, some of their grooming brushes, because I've heard really good stuff about them. And then they also have a bath kit, a braiding kit, just some other stuff that I want to get from them. And some grooming products, I really like MTG. I use MTG for fungus and then also hair growth. So during the winter, a lot of horses, their manes get rubbed out from blankets. So if you put some MTG like kind of on the neckline or basically on the horse's scalp and massage it in, it over time helps it grow back and strengthens the hair. Next up is helmets. The brand that I currently use is 1K, and then you can interchange parts of the helmet, but I do want to get a Sam Shield for showing, and I want to get a custom one. I think it's the Miss Shield 2.0 is the one that I would like to get. And then also, Hairy Pony recently came out with a helmet bag where there's a compartment for the helmet, and then underneath there is a mirror and then some storage for like your show stuff. And then also Lemieux has a boot and helmet bag that I was interested in getting. Next is riding boots, and so the brand that I currently use is Tread Step. They work great for jumping and dressage. Those are just basic boots if you're not into like too much pizzazz. De Niro is a brand that I've looked into. My trainer has De Niro's. And then lastly, this is one for if you don't want to spend a lot of money on tall boots and you want to just get some. is riding sport. I used them before, and if you take good care of them, they do last. They lasted me about like a year and a half, I think, but they're just a good basic black pair of tall boots. Boots that I like is the Dublin boots. I forgot what they're called, like exactly the name of them, but I use them. They're more like barn boots, but I ride in them like 6 horses a day, and they held up really well. I mean, I get a new pair like every other year or so, but I really like them. So one more thing to add to your Christmas wish list. As equestrians, we do kind of need to stay fit and work out and do all that. There is a thing, it's called, I think, Equestrian. It is specifically made for equestrians to focus on certain parts of riding that you struggle with, whether you kind of hunch your shoulders or you need like a stronger seat or just a better seat. They specifically find workouts that work and do it. It is used by some top show jumpers and some dressage riders. So I would look into them. You can pay yearly or monthly, and I think they do have some deals running right now. And the final thing, the most expensive thing, is of course a new horse. I currently do not have a horse on my Christmas list, but I do have a horse that might work for some people. There's currently a horse for sale with my barn. He is a 2011. He was imported from Ireland, and his name is Gaunt. He would be great for somebody doing FEI, whether juniors, but specifically he is a little special. You do need to have a long leg and be able to ride some interesting stuff. But he is a great horse, and over the past about month that I've been riding him, I have definitely learned some new fun things of how to do on him. His ad is listed on Facebook for Jericho Sport Horses and on Instagram for Jericho Sport Horses. And so if you are interested, you should go on Instagram or Facebook and look him up, because he is really pretty and a really nice mover. Thank you so much for watching. I didn't put a ton of stuff on here, so let me know if you do want a part 2. And on the list, I mainly put stuff that like I use or that I like want, because some products that like I don't use, they're so really popular, I haven't had the best experience with them, or I just don't enjoy them, and some things that I have said. But I really hope you enjoy and have an amazing Christmas.